To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fat Boy Cartel podcast. Me and Damon are here tonight to review AEW Double or Nothing for May 30th, 2021. So we're going to run through the show here, but before we do that, you can find us on our social media by checking out all of our stuff in the description box below. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you guys get all the notifications about when we put up new content on this channel. Definitely hit the bell as well. So we're going to start with the buy-in a little bit that took place a little bit before the show started, and we had the NWA Women's World Champion Serena Deeb versus Riho here. I was on my way back from the Indianapolis 500 when this match happened, so I'm not going to lie, I might have missed some details. Hopefully Damon can help me out a little bit if we need to. But I felt like this was a pretty good little match to start the show. I thought both women worked hard. I think Damon's going to talk a little bit about Riho selling a little bit here. But overall, I thought it was a good show to get the crowd going, and this crowd was hot from start to finish for this show.
Oh, yeah, the crowd was really into it for this show.
Yeah, it was very...
Right, even for the buy-in.
I mean, it just made the show better, regardless of some of the nitpicks we're going to talk about. I thought that this, crowd really gave the show a whole new level, and the wrestlers fed off of it, which the crowds tend to do. And of course, since we've not had them for a year and a half, it's nice to finally get some crowds back. Yeah. But anyway, as of this match, what are your thoughts on this match, especially in Riho's case?
So overall, the match, it was pretty good. I mean, the moves were fine. Like you said, the only nitpick, which I guess depends on how you look at it, is either something major or minor.
Yeah, true.
Is the occasional selling of her leg. Mm-hmm. She would, from the way I was watching it and how I was watching it, it just seemed like Riho would only sell the leg when Serena
Deeb, yep,
was actually attacking it. Other than that, though, she was doing her double leg stomps from the top rope, and then occasionally would grab the knee after that, but then hop right back up and do something else with it. And it's just like, if you're gonna go with the leg injury to the point where it is in the finish, then you need to be selling it and maybe not be doing these big time moves. Mm-hmm. Now, I know what Brandon would say here if he was here. The adrenaline rush. And I get that. But still, you gotta sell it a little bit more than what she was, in my opinion.
Yeah, and to Riho's credit, she was selling it when it was being attacked. She was doing a good job with that. But I agree, during some parts in the match, it does look like she wasn't doing it the whole time. And the adrenaline rush thing, I noticed that they were doing that a bit tonight. Like I know in Sting's case, he was doing it. There was a few other spots where some of these other wrestlers where it looked like they were. I think Moxley did it at one point. So there were definitely times where they were playing on the adrenaline rush, which is good to do. But you can't do it in every single match just to compensate for not selling an injury. So I get Damon's point. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, the match ended with Deeb defeated Riho to retain the NWA Women's Championship here. The champ countered a Riho when she tried to do a near fall with a crucifix bomb, and she applied the Serenity Lock for the submission win. So
that's the name of her move.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know either. I'm lucky these reports are out.
That damn. I thought she was gonna pop Riho's leg out of the fucking socket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She had, which I mean, it's not that hard to do, to put Riho's foot next to her head when she's that tiny, but still.
And I know a lot of people, especially some people on our podcast, sometimes will criticize how Riho is a small wrestler, and it is kind of unbelievable for like her to maybe get wins over Nyla Rose and stuff. But yeah,
like I get it, but also it's like, look at Rey Mysterio and how long he's been in the business.
Yeah, and especially
he's typically the smaller of the two wrestlers,
right?
So.
Yeah, and in this case with Serena Deeb, it's not like she's got a super size advantage, but something like Nyla Rose, I get the argument. But at the same time, there are ways
Ray versus the Great Khali,
right? And there are ways you can book it and still make it believable. So I really don't criticize companies that really do that.
Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed, just in the more recent.
Yeah, absolutely. And he won one of those contests as well, so absolutely. All right, so now we're going to get into the main show. So with that, we're going to start our 10-minute time limit for the show. So we'll start. Oops, I hit the wrong button.
Now, here's one thing before we officially start. I could have sworn they said that what match was going to start the main card was the Sting and Darby Allin match.
If they did,
I could have sworn they said that was going to be the first starting match, and then Hangman comes out and Brian Cage is like, "Hold on, the fuck."
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Like I said, I didn't get to see all the buy-in.
I thought I heard them say that, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be completely wrong with that. But I could have sworn and it just might have been they were advertising the match for later, and I just assumed, oh, it's the end of the buy-in. Match preview. Oh, this is going to be the starting match.
Right. Well,
more than likely that's what happened, but
yeah, and things can change on the fly. And in this case, I actually feel like starting the show out with Hangman Page was a good idea by the end of it, because obviously he's going to be their guy that they build for, I don't know, next 6 months to a year. I don't know how long they're going to do this, but eventually he's, in my opinion, going to be the one to take the belt off Kenny Omega. But that's minor spoiler for the rest of the show. But if you've not seen the show, why are you watching our review of it? So, all right. So we'll start the clock here with, let's make sure it starts here. It's kind of giving me trouble. Let's see. Come on now. Don't be. Okay, here we go. Hangman Page versus Brian Cage started the show. Again, I thought this was a pretty solid match. A good show, or good match to start out the show. There was a spot in this match where Brian Cage attempted the buckshot lariat, which he almost nailed the flip over the top rope. And then I guess it was countered by Hangman here. And then I guess Team Taz got involved. They wanted to help out Cage to win. I think it was Ricky Starks who threw the FTW title into the ring and wanted Cage to hit him with the belt, and Cage refused. So that allowed Hangman Page to take advantage and hit the buckshot lariat for the win. And, of course, Cage wasn't happy after the match. Kind of got into a dispute with Team Taz. And it looks to me like, and obviously it looks like Brian Cage is going to be splitting from Team Taz because they've been teasing that for weeks now.
It is a good match.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Hangman's very talented, and it makes all the sense in the world for him to be the top guy. I don't necessarily... The only thing I can think of why they actually beat him a few weeks ago is because they weren't going to make the move against Kenny Omega yet. But at the same time, I don't know if I agree with him taking that loss. But what's done is done now.
Depends on when you plan on booking him to beat Kenny.
Yeah, absolutely. And if
it's not till, say, end of the year or beginning of next year, there's plenty of time to rebuild him. And by the time it gets to that point, the loss will be forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, and they announced tonight that their next major pay-per-view, I think, is September 5th, All Out in Chicago. And then they announced Full Gear November 5th. I think it's early November.
November 9th.
Maybe it's 9th. I can't remember the exact date. But yeah, it's going to be Full Gear.
It's September and November the next week.
Right. And I'm sure
they'll probably have in those months, those pay-per-views will be happening.
Right. I imagine Fight for the Fallen will be on a Dynamite, most likely sometime in the summer, and kind of fill that gap for sure. After this, we had the AEW Tag Team Championship match. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks defending their titles here. I really enjoyed this match. To me, I know Young Bucks, we say it all the time, have their criticisms, and they were throwing a lot of super kicks in this. No denying that. Especially
in this match, they threw a lot of super kicks.
Right, and they were definitely doing a lot of mocking of Hulk Hogan, and they were even did They even did a shield spot where they were about to powerbomb Moxley, so I thought that was kind of clever.
Was there not also a Macho Man mocking?
There might have been. There was a lot of mocking going on, which is kind of
the whole where he does like the walking around with the finger pointed up before he does the elbow, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure I saw something like that. I was like, wow, they're just mocking the
everything,
marks.
just mocking everything. Which, I mean, in a way, it's kind of entertaining to me, but at the same time, I get the criticism.
Especially when in your entrance theme, super kick party, killing the business.
Right.
They're mocking the business.
Yeah, they're mocking all the critics and everything of them as well.
Well, exactly. So it fits in with the characters that they're going with.
Right.
Of where, we've always been blamed for, we're killing the business. Well, let's mock the fuck out of it then.
Right. But I did think
make fun of those who still believe in this stuff.
Right.
And So I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. I mean, to me, I thought this was still a really fun match, and almost, I don't know if you'd say match of the year candidate, but definitely match of the night candidate, for sure. My only
Up until this point, yeah.
I actually really thought that Mox and Kingston were going to win the belts. I even said that a few podcasts ago, but. I mean, I understand maybe not doing it right now because Mox is about to have a baby literally any day now with his wife Renee. But my only big nitpick about this match was that there was a lot of referees. Or this referee especially, he lost total control of this. There was no tagging in and out. There might have been a few references about who was the legal man and who wasn't, but basically anything went in this match. There was just no control. So that the AEW still got to get that referee stuff down because
it's ref consistency.
Yeah, and there was a couple little spots in some other matches that were the same way. But Young Bucks retained their title here in a very good match. I give this an A, all things considered. But that's just me. After that, we had the Casino Battle Royale, 21 men competing for the number one contendership to the AEW World Title. A lot of guys we've seen on Dynamite, obviously, here. The big story of this match, though, is Lio Rush was the Joker card, and he debuts now for AEW. NXT guy, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
I think he might have been on the main card a little bit. I can't remember.
He was mostly with the Cruiserweight, and then he got paired up with Bobby Lashley.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Before MVP.
I mean, good talent. He was actually moving around very good here.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby wanted him to stay with the company and work with them.
Right.
Work with him and I think MVP or someone.
Mm-hmm.
But Bobby advocated for him as well, like he did with Shelton and Cedric. But
right. The match came down to Christian Cage and Jungle Boy as the final two. The crowd erupted for this, which I'll give the AEW a lot of credit here. They put Jungle Boy over and gave him the win here over Christian. So Christian is in this company and at this stage of his career is going to help some young talent develop. They made the right call here.
They continue with that.
Right, and Jungle Boy gets the big win here. My only problem with that is he's going to face Kenny Omega in 2 weeks on Dynamite, and we all pretty much know Kenny's not losing the belt. We talked about this before we recorded, that the Casino Battle Royale is almost like their version of the Royal Rumble, and unfortunately the winners usually get a title match a couple weeks later on Dynamite, and it's not set up as a big deal as much, and usually the challengers don't win. I want to see them maybe make this more special, so the winner, like maybe at their next big pay-per-view, gets a title shot, not right away, and maybe they get the title instead of actually losing.
That's one thing where they kind of fall behind on.
Yeah, but
with this kind of battle royale. Also, I want to talk about Penta's fucking ring gear tonight.
Right.
That was dope as shit.
I don't remember exactly what was dope about it.
Was it Joker? Essentially, he was the fucking Joker.
Okay, that's what it was.
Without being the Joker card.
Right. Oh, okay.
They missed an opportunity there.
That's true. I mean, I get you're going for the surprise with the Joker card most nights that you do this. But yeah, you're right.
Has Penta been on TV lately, though?
He has, but not in like any real matches. More like running out to say Pac or something like that. So, and I'm curious by his absence, though. No Rey Fenix. I thought maybe he was supposed to be in the Battle Royal, but I could be wrong. Maybe they replaced him
at the last
minute, which I don't know why. Maybe he's got an injury we don't know about too. But
I know QT Marshall got replaced with. Who the fuck he get replaced with? Maybe it was Camarado.
Maybe. Who I thought looked decent in the Battle Royal as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys look decent here. There's some good spots. Like they teased Matt Hardy and Christian one more time, teaming up against Jungle Boy at the end. Then Christian dumped him over the top. So I thought that was cool. Some good little spots here. Definitely worth a watch. I don't think it was half as bad as some of the botches they had last year for sure. So definitely check. At
least Matt Sydal didn't slip on his own ass.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, Max Caster brought that fucking thing up.
And I loved the line. He's like, last time you were relevant, you had an edge. So to Christian, that was good.
I was like, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
other than that, the Matt Sydal one was just like, okay, shut up.
Yeah, they've made fun of that a few times now. Maybe it's time to move on. But yeah. Speaking of moving on, though, we'll move on to, it looks like we're probably going to go a little bit over our 10-minute mark here, but that's okay. It's a pay-per-view. We kind of thought it might, so maybe we should have said it for 20, but that's all right. We'll go a little longer. Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo is our next match here. We talked about on the podcast that if they use the Falcon Punch, or I guess he's calling it the Governor Knockout or Knockout Punch or whatever it is.
Punch.
Yeah. If they use that, Cody should take the fall here. Now, obviously, he used it very early on, so Cody kicked out, and he also was taking punches from a go-go throughout the match.
There was one spot where Cody had Anthony in the corner, I think on top rope, and I mean, Anthony hit like a quick, I think it was either a left or a right, but just hit like a quick jab and then one to the gut, and then Cody sold his ass off for it there.
Right.
So I'll give him credit there, but again, my opinion, Anthony should have won this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
despite what weekend it's on, despite Cody going all American Dream.
Yeah.
The way they were building up to this, which was, from my understanding, still kind of a thrown together feud, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But the build they had for it, though, all arrows pointed to Anthony winning the match.
I think it's probably, like we said, I know Tony mentioned why all of a sudden was he cutting a promo about America, and of course a go-go being from England, and they're kind of playing this, villain from another country role, which really doesn't work in 2021 anymore, I don't think, anyway. But
actually from England.
Right. It's not like they're like a rival to America.
This may catch heat on us, but like if you're gonna go, like Miro or like someone like the Iron Sheik from Iran, Iraq.
That's the way it's always been booked.
Middle East. Oh yeah, and that's been booked that way since the fucking 80s.
And I think the reason why, of course, now we kind of.
But again, it's England, who's one of our allies. It's like, why would he be a foreign heel?
Right. I guess because he supposedly made comments against America or something like that. But we discussed how
many people in this country of own citizenry say shit about America.
Right.
So it's like.
Yeah. I mean, I know we discussed about, like, Tony was like, why all of a sudden is he talking about America in these promos and he's going to be the American Dream? Well, apparently I finally put it together. I'm sure a lot of people already did before this, but during this they showed the Memorial Day package thanking the veterans. Well, I wouldn't say veterans. It was more, the Memorial Day is not about veterans. It's about those who didn't come back. So they did this whole thing about, the servicemen. So I finally clicked. I was like, okay, the reason why he did it is because the pay-per-view was on Memorial Day weekend. So I get that. That's probably why he won, because you have America win on Memorial Day weekend. I'll give him that. But at the same time, I agree with you. It makes more sense to put a go-go over.
That lazy booking.
Yeah, that's a little bit. I ain't going to lie about that. Cody did look good here, though. I think he was kind of riffing on the character from The Boys with his attire when he come out. There's a character... the Homelander, I believe, is the character's name, and he was wearing this getup. But I think I want to say he might be the villain of that series. I'm not sure.
He's supposed to be the bad guy Superman.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Yeah, something like that.
No, for me, I've never seen The Boys, but to me, it was just like, oh, he's American versus England.
Right.
But he's decked out in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, pretty much. But overall, I did think a go-go looked okay in certain spots when he was actually trying to wrestle, but clearly, Rhodes is obviously was doing a good job of making him look good here. But yeah, all things considered, though, Cody Rhodes got the win. Let's see, Rhodes delivered the vertebreaker to score the win.
That. I didn't like it. It just looked bad, painful bad, not bad.
Yeah, right. It's okay. It was, middle of the road for me, all things considered. Hopefully, maybe we'll move on and get something. We still could get Cody versus the Nightmare Factory or whatever it is.
I think it's the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, and he's the
QT's group.
Yeah, so we'll probably get more of that, but maybe we'll move on from a go-go. Maybe it'll be Cody versus Camarado now, for all I know.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. After this, we had the TNT champion Miro versus Lance Archer. For the most part, this didn't last very long. A lot of brawling on the outside. I think Archer put Miro through a table and through the barricade a few times. And it ended up basically, Jake Roberts got involved, and he brought a bag that supposedly had his classic snake in it. And Miro took the bag and threw the snake toward the entranceway. Clearly, this didn't have a real snake on it, so calm down, animal rights activists.
fucking yeeted that bag.
Yeah, but it wasn't the greatest. And, of course, Miro retained his title with the suplex, the super kick, and then his submission finisher where he leans all the way back in like a camel clutch formation for the win. Just putting Miro over.
He hit that, and Archer broke out of it, but he, like, lays... It's like a rear naked chokehold, but it's...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just like a camel clutch, rear naked camel clutch. I don't know.
Just bends him all the way back, and yeah, it's not like he breaks you in half. So
those fucking thrust kicks he fucking does. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Miro is a crazy person, right? And I'm glad they're booking him this way. But I heard, Lance Archer didn't look the greatest in this match. But at least they're putting Miro over, so that's all we can really ask for this. It really wasn't nothing more than that, I think. So, yeah. So we'll move on. The snake thing was kind of lame, though. I will admit. Everybody in the building knew there was no snake in there, or if you're smart, yeah, for sure. AEW
child.
Yeah. Then we had the AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida defending her title against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD here. I thought this was solid. Very good
match.
Yeah, and obviously the big story here is Britt Baker won with the lockjaw submission victory to obtain the AEW Women's Championship here, and rightfully deserved. She's been improving greatly. Her mic skills are great. They really like her a lot.
For her to win this, like, since fucking started the company.
But even that's a simple explanation of it. This match was very well put together. I mean, they had a few botches here and there, but at the same time, there's a lot of near falls on both sides. Hikaru Shida put up a hell of a fight to keep this belt.
Maybe a little bit too many close call.
Maybe. I mean, they did a lot of it toward the end.
Maybe a little bit too much.
Right. I think they were just trying to sell the fact that Shida's not going to give this title up easily. In that case, I appreciated it.
And that's the thing I appreciated about the match is, from all my understanding, Shida kind of wasn't herself, especially towards the end of the match. She was doing things that, if I remember right, because this is a 4-hour fucking show.
Right.
If I remember right, a lot of even the commentators were saying, this isn't, like, she's going a little bit too much here.
She's getting ultra aggressive, almost heelish. So we can
I wouldn't
argue.
say almost heelish, but like super aggressive about it.
Right.
To the point of where, like, this isn't.
Fighting for her belt with everything she's got, like almost going to cross that line if she has to keep
exactly.
it. So,
she was willing to cross that line if need to.
It wasn't like WWE where they're like, all right, okay, now you're the heel in this storyline for this match, and Britt, you're the baby because you're going to get cheered. It was like you said, it was, pushing that line of what she's willing to go to retain her belt. And in that case, so it really wasn't
like, I know there's an example of it somewhere, and I can't think of it. But I've seen that kind of story play out through other companies, so.
Right. Obviously, it's worth noting, too, that Rebel tried to interfere in this match. She ends up she tried to hit Shida with the crush. She ends up whacking Britt Baker. Yeah, like almost, it looked like it was almost right in the head, which she's so great.
Oh, she domed her with it.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
At that point, I thought, I was like, okay, Shida's going to retain.
Yeah, I did too. So it made me believe.
The heel fucked up, domed her own partner.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if there'll be repercussions for Rebel from Britt for that one.
At the point of her winning, probably not.
Well, there was getting back into ref nitpicks. If you want to discuss, like I said, I always said I'll be fair. If AEW deserves a criticism, I'll say it. Brandon thought he saw referee do a spot a few weeks ago about that they should have caught. Now, granted, we kind of talked afterwards and realized what he saw wasn't that big a deal. But in this match, there was a spot I thought the ref saw something he probably shouldn't have saw when Britt Baker got the AEW women's belt and gave a curb stomp to Shida. Then after that, she went to hit Shida with it or whatnot. And she tried to get rid of the belt out of the ring, but she was a little late. The referee turned around just as she's throwing it out. And he didn't say a doggone word about that. So fair is fair.
Was it this match or was it another match? It was it was where someone was on the outside. It might have been the Sting Darby Allin match, where someone on the outside, someone was clearly not close enough to the ropes, so they had to kind of really lean into the ring to pull someone out. And it was okay. I'll save it. It was a Sting Darby match.
Okay.
So when we
get to that.
move on to that match.
All right. Well, technically that is next. So let's get into that. Sting and... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Because the mention of the whole title thing really sparked this one. My thing is with either WWE, AEW, whatever other promotion you want to name, ref consistency and the enforcement of the rules.
Right. Which I know JR even mentioned a few of those things tonight. He was doing his thing where he suddenly would throw it into the commentary like, well, come on, ref, do something, you know?
Yeah. And in this match, I want to say it was Ethan Page to Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. Darby was in the ring. Ethan Page was on the outside. Ethan Page is clearly the illegal man.
Right.
He gets like a good chunk of the way into the ring to pull Darby back towards the apron. Mm-hmm. So he can pull the whole heel choking thing while Scorpio's distracting. But the ref clearly is in full eyesight of Ethan Page dragging Darby to the apron.
Right.
And it doesn't say a thing. It's like, hold on, you saw him do that, right?
But they definitely made sure to tell Sting to get back on the outside when he was the illegal man. So
exactly.
Yeah, so there was that going on too.
Us as the audience clearly see Darby tag Sting.
Uh-huh. It's a classic. The ref didn't see it. It's part of the story they were trying to tell. But
despite earlier in the fucking show, John Moxley does the whole behind the ref's back clap, and the ref just doesn't even turn around. Just
there's a tag. Yeah, I heard it. Doing? Yeah, so again, if you're going to tell that story about how you're going to make Sting get back in the corner, you got to make sure your refs get everything else right. Otherwise, it looks very dumb.
It looks very dumb. It looks like someone's not knowing how to do their fucking job right.
Right. And I get it. It's chaotic, especially the way AEW books their matches. There is so much going on. And it's so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I give them credit.
Especially in the tag team matches.
Yeah. It's just all over the place. So I give them credit for getting what they get done right. But at the same time, it makes it very hard to be consistent with this sort of thing. Maybe that's why you can make an argument to slow down a little bit. There's an argument to be made there. But anyway, Sting and Darby, this match started, Darby just launches himself onto the outside.
He just fucking jumps to the ropes.
I mean, literally goes
and Scorpio.
Goes ass over tea kettle, almost lands on his head. And then not long after this, Ethan Page picks him up in the ring, chucks him from the ring over the outside and into the first row.
That spot was more towards the middle.
Oh, was it?
My thing is, my thing also, Sting is fucking 62 years fucking old.
Yeah.
And this man's doing fucking crossbodies off the fucking stage.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, for 62 years old, I thought he looked very quick, very good.
They let him go longer than you would have thought they would have.
And the crowd marked out for him like it was no tomorrow.
Oh, God, yeah. But given his age, given why he hasn't wrestled a match in 6 years, thanks, Seth.
His neck, yeah.
He's still, they let him do a lot in this match.
Agreed. I mentioned to you before the show started, they did let him do a lot, but at the same time, they made sure, outside of the suplex, that was about the worst bump I think he really took. Everything else was safely planned. Even the dive, they made sure to catch him upright. So they did everything in a way to where they took his age and, the damage his body's taken over the years and his neck injury into account. So they did it smartly here, and they let Darby take all the ridiculous bumps. And boy, that guy is... Yeah. And we had this conversation before the show started too. Darby, Kenny Omega, and a lot of other guys, I like the fact that they will do these spots like pile drivers and Canadian destroyers where you drop guys on their head. But you could also make the argument one of these days, and if you do these correctly, you're fine. It's no problem. But if one of these days, you're going to have an Owen Hart, Stone Cold, Steve Austin situation where one of these guys is not going to get up. And I understand why some companies don't do that because of that reason. But one of these days, I mean, I love watching AEW when it comes to the excitement of their matches because of those type of moves, and you cringe at the same time. It gives you that extra adrenaline as a fan. But it's unsafe sometimes.
Throughout the entire match, I was like, Steve, you stop. You're too old for this.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, at least they took care of him for sure. Everybody else was throwing themselves around like, they just don't care. But
what was it? There's another part. Maybe it was... Oh, no, it was a sunset flip powerbomb, I think, in this match that Sting delivered.
Yeah. I thought he was going to go for a Canadian destroyer.
Either way, it looked bad.
Well, it was a sunset flip, but I thought when he did it, oh, no, he's going to do a destroyer. But, no, he ended up just making a flip, but still.
It looked, if we're talking about the same thing, which I feel like we are,
Yeah.
he delivered it so slow and it looked bad. I was like, they should have never let him do that match or that spot.
I didn't think it looked terrible, but he did kind of, I think, use the ropes to kind of steady himself before he went.
And it looked like it was in slow motion to me.
I'll give you that.
The way I saw it, it just looked like he just tumbled over, what was it, Scorpio?
Pretty sure, yeah. But
either one, Scorpio or Ethan, he just kind of just did a somersault over their body and then just kind of drug him with him.
Right.
And it just, to me, did not look like, it looked ugly.
Most of this match was Darby killing himself, getting the heel heat, and then Sting got the hot tag at the end. And it ended up breaking down where Scorpio Sky tried to hit a springboard cutter onto Sting, only for the Icon to hold onto the ropes, catch him, and deliver the Scorpion Death Drop for the win. So Sting gets
nice.
that was a good finish.
That was a pretty good finish.
I mean, you can argue Sting's the old guy. Maybe you should put him over as the young team here. I get it, but at the same time, you got Darby Allin, who just lost the TNT title. You got to get him back on track too. So it was a fun match.
It's Sting's first match in 6 years.
Yeah. Crowd was into it.
Live crowd.
Yeah, we're going nuts for it.
So
yeah, it was a lot of fun, start to finish, regardless of some.
You can make a debate about it whether who should have won that match or not.
Right. And this night, though, based on the surroundings, they did a good job of delivering a good match, I think.
Oh yeah.
After this, we moved to the AEW World Championship match: Orange Cassidy versus Pac versus Kenny Omega. I thought this was another match of the night candidate, possibly match of the year. That I had one minor nitpick to it. It was when Don Callis got involved toward the end. Now, granted, it's a three-way match. They wouldn't call it a triple threat match. I don't know if WWE kind of has a trademark on it or not, but they definitely went out of their way to make it a three-way. I thought JR was going to screw it up a couple times, but he did a good job. He kept it good. But when Don Callis got involved, when Orange Cassidy clearly had this match won. There were so many near falls in this where I was beginning to believe, as much as I knew Kenny Omega was going to retain, that Orange Cassidy was going to win this title tonight because this crowd was so into it.
Multiple spots from Orange, multiple spots from Pac.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. They overbooked it without overbooking it.
Right. I mean,
because they did have Carl and Gallows come out during this.
Right, which they got taken out.
They didn't last long,
no.
But it still like it had that overbooked feeling without being overbooked.
Yeah, I mean, what they did, like when it comes to like Gallows, Anderson, or Don Callis getting involved, it was very short, but consequential.
And it was like but it didn't really.
No, didn't take away from it.
It didn't, to me at least. It didn't take away from the match.
No, I mean it
made logical sense. Don Callis, it's a no DQ situation. Don Callis is about to see his main star get fucking pinned. He books it, takes the ref out.
Yeah, and they built that up during the match. He was on commentary and he was about ready to lose his mind because Kenny was about to get beat over and over and over again. And he was starting to panic.
Kenny's about to get beat. They're bringing up history of Kenny losing to Pac, and it's like Don's like, shut up.
Not to mention,
stop bringing up the past. It's not the past. Stop it.
Yeah.
So he was getting frustrated, and then the point where Kenny is about to lose the title, he just, fuck it, I'm gonna go take the ref out.
And not to mention, Orange Cassidy was wrestling his brains out in this.
Oh God, Orange Cassidy fucking killed it tonight.
And we can argue about whether you like the pocket stuff or his shtick, and he was doing quite a bit of that in this match. They were interweaving it in creative ways, but the dude was.
I feel for the majority of this match, he wrestled as if like the whole the hands in pocket thing, the laziness wrestle style that he's I guess known for. He barely used any of that. He did the whole hands in pocket thing like 3 times. And essentially,
did the shin kick a couple times.
Did the shin kick with Pac, which he's done that before.
Yeah, and they immediately kind of tried to hit him for it, and he countered and all that.
But the hands in pocket thing, I feel like in this match was more of a like he was putting up defenses. It was used as like a shield kind of thing.
Right.
Because like when there's one spot specifically when he's on the top rope, I think with Omega, and Omega is about to do dragon suplex off the top rope.
Yeah, he's trying to fight for position.
Puts his hands in his pockets, and then Kenny can't budge him.
Right. Can't get the underhook to pull him down
exactly.
for the dragon suplex.
For some fucking reason, that logic goes out the window. But I get, like, it was used as like a defense shield because he did that with one. I think it was Kenny or Pac again, where he's on his knees and he just puts his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
And then just falls.
It just falls over like a Ric Flair spot.
Exactly.
But, yeah. So
I feel like they actually let Orange Cassidy shine like a fucking star of wrestling.
Yeah.
With his wrestling tonight. And I'm sorry, you cannot say Orange Cassidy is a bad wrestler now.
No, I mean,
he might have a bad gimmick.
Right.
Fine, fair enough. But as a wrestler, no, he's right where he belongs.
And
we knew top of the card.
We knew when they booked this match that because the full crowd that was going to be back for this event, they put Cassidy in it because he's over with the crowd. We know that before the pandemic started. It's even more so, obvious now, and the fact that they even though he took the pin here, Pac didn't take the pin. Kenny Omega pinned Orange Cassidy. Which actually Orange Cassidy looked to have the one again after multiple attempts, and Omega rolled him over and kind of got the leverage and pinned him that way.
Just that surprise.
It was a surprise ending, and but the way they booked it, even though Orange lost, and we talk about this with WWE all the time, they don't want to beat anybody. This is one of those situations where even though Orange Cassidy took the loss, they made him look so good in this match. He is going to be over more now than he was going into the title match. So
and with the way they booked it, and we typically don't like when WWE does this.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a WWE screwy finish when it comes to Don Callis, a roll up, things like that.
I mean, not really, but again, it's like even though technically Orange got even Orange ate the pin, which I was wrong. Could have sworn Pac was going to eat the damn thing.
Yeah, I don't think you were the only one who thought that either.
No, but I was like, all right, I'll own that one. I was wrong. But with even Orange eating the pin, with the multiple times, at least twice, where he had it won.
Oh yeah.
He still has, in my opinion, claim to face Kenny one-on-one.
And I mentioned to you before we started that I think what they're probably going to end up doing after Jungle Boy, they may go to the whole, hey, you beat me, but I had you beat. If it wasn't for your boy Don Callis, maybe you could go one-on-one, and like they teased with the contract thing they did when Orange was hurt, that you still might get Orange versus Kenny. I mean, I still don't think Orange will be the one to take the belt off of Kenny. I still think that's Hangman. But after this,
just with the Hangman's and Kenny's history,
that makes a good narrative sense, especially since they were tag team champs and stuff at one point. However, after the way this crowd reacted tonight to Orange, I won't be stunned if they give it to Orange.
By year's end, Orange will be.
He'll at least be TNT champion, in my opinion, if nothing else.
But they will. At this point with Orange Cassidy, that would be a demotion.
I agree with you.
He's going. Mark it here. Orange Cassidy will be world champion by year's end. I'm claiming that now.
I'm not ready to claim that yet because, like I said, I still wonder where the Hangman thing fits in. But if it happens,
they might do it like this.
Yep.
Orange wins it from Kenny. Kenny wins it back, then Hangman takes it.
You could.
But the way Orange was over tonight, there's no way in God's green earth they not let Orange have that title before year's end.
Yeah. I mean, he should definitely remain at the top of the card, regardless of what they're doing with him right now, because he is on fire. He's like, Roman Reigns is on fire in a different way. I wouldn't even say he's on, I don't know.
This is going to, bold statement here. This is on the levels of Kofi Mania.
Yeah, maybe even more so, a little bit. Because at some point, now that these crowds are coming back, this crowd is going to demand that Orange Cassidy has a run, and it's
especially after seeing this match.
Yeah, and like we said, you can argue about his gimmick, but this guy is a tremendous wrestler.
Sheer fucking talent.
Yeah, his timing is perfect. He's in every spot right where he should be. He sells it great. Yeah, it's just incredible. So
he was selling the shit out of the VJ. Like any move he got hit in the head with, he sold it like a champ.
And I feel like we're not talking about Pac and Kenny enough of this. They were both great in this as well.
Oh God, Pac was just a small man, monster man here.
Right.
Through a good chunk of the match, he was just taking hits, and then would deliver his own fucking hit.
Right.
He hit the Black Arrow. He hit while Kenny.
Oh, was bridging out of a submission hold or whatnot?
Something like that, out of a pin attempt.
Yeah.
He bridged out, pockets a fucking crossbody.
Yeah, which like it sucked.
Oh, that had to suck. Kenny and his fucking V triggers still make me cringe.
This match reminded me a lot of Kenny Omega New Japan Kenny. Some of his matches he's had over there. This match was, to me, again, you could argue about whether it's spot festy or AEW style, all that stuff too. But I was on the edge of my seat almost from start to finish. You didn't know who was going to win because they were doing such a good job of selling that it could be either one of these three guys at any moment.
I think on the last time we reviewed AEW Dynamite, it might have been that night we all got into that big, the beef.
Right. Yeah. Little backstage
we were
discussion.
Arguing. It's like, there's absolutely no way they're taking that title off of Kenny. There's no way. But in the moment, there were times, even me, who one said there's no way they're taking the titles off the Young Bucks. Absolutely no way.
You're right about that.
There's no way they're taking the title off Kenny. It's easily predictable.
Right.
But even me, in that moment, was like, oh shit, are they actually going to give it to Orange?
Right. Which goes to my point, because I mentioned to you, and I think the rest of the guys too, when I said predictability isn't always bad. This is a perfect example of that. We kind of knew where it was going to probably go, but they did. We had it
ingrained so in our heads.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're going to even attempt to let anyone believe, oh, Orange has got this. Pac has got this. No, they did.
Yeah.
I bought it fucking full wholesale.
Yeah.
Holy shit. No, they're not going to give it to Orange tonight.
They could. I kept thinking that too.
Then Pac would go on around and was like, no, they're not going to give it to him.
That's why I feel like.
And it's like, that kind of thing, even though full-heartedly I knew there's no way they're taking it off Kenny. No damn way they're taking it off Kenny. I got hooked.
Yeah.
I bought into it, and that's why I like wrestling. I'll say that right now.
This is why.
Is why wrestling is so damn good.
Right. And this is why I champion AEW. This is why I champion them, and I try to defend them. Because, yes, they've had their shortcomings, especially in recent months with some of their main event finishes. But when they do stuff like this, it makes you remember why you're a fan of wrestling to begin with.
Exactly.
And even though sometimes things are predictable, and to do good booking, things sometimes have to be predictable. But what makes wrestling what it is even though when it is predictable just like this, if they do their job right, they can make you believe that even the predictable will not happen the way you think it will.
Exactly.
And the AEW delivered that in spades tonight, and I loved that. So,
I wouldn't.
Well, at least in this match, I'll say that.
Yeah, this match definitely a little bit in the Young Bucks match. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, because I thought Mox and Kingston were going for that at one point too, but
at one point, it is like, are they really going to give these to fucking Kingston and Moxley?
I honestly think if it wasn't for Mox about to become a daddy, literally within the next week or more, I think they might have been. But that still could happen down the road. But yeah, for this match though, I loved this main event.
I fought it. I fucking bought it hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. Like, holy shit.
Minor nitpicks from the interferences stuff aside. Again, you can do interferences at times. In this case, it worked based on what the story they were telling. You do it every single match on a Monday Night Raw, I don't like it. But it just depends on how you go about it. In this case, I thought it was done very well and top marks all the way around. This was an A+ match in my opinion.
Match of the night.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get into the actual main event, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of wish they put this on earlier. Maybe you end it with the triple threat. I didn't hate the Stadium Stampede match, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, because the one thing they did really well by the end. However, I think you said it went over 30 minutes.
It was like 31 and 30 seconds.
Right. And to me, most of this match was, obviously like last year, they did the whole thing inside the football stadium. But the thing they did a little bit.
I want to interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
You said that you said they should have put this on earlier. Here's why they didn't. Spoilers for the end of this if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Inner Circle wins.
They send
That's
everybody
fine.
home happy. Yeah, I get that. After
They send the fans home happy.
Yeah.
First time in a while that AEW had a live crowd at full capacity.
Agreed.
So, yes, you book, which
That
we all
way.
knew the Inner Circle was going to win anyways.
Right.
There's no way they're going to break up them.
Right.
But again, it's the whole, okay, we got live fans. They're the baby face. Everyone loves the Inner Circle. Clearly shown at the end of the fucking night.
Yeah.
With Judas playing.
Yeah, that was the best way to end that night, actually.
Oh, yeah. It is the best way to end the pay-per-view. But we'll go over the match.
I guess the reason why I say that is because, I mean, I thought the way it started with the Inner Circle rappelling down from the literal rafters of the stadium, I thought the way they bounced, I thought, oh, God, don't fall.
Line.
Yeah.
I thought they were coming in zip line, and they got caught up. And I was like,
well, when they bounced and they kind of rappelled back up and they slowly started to lower them at that point, I had Owen Hart visions going in my head. And
that too, yes.
So,
I did. I thought they were ziplining in down to the field, and it's like,
and it got stuck.
And I was like, oh no,
yeah,
this could go very bad.
But then they mentioned like SEAL Team 6 sort of stuff, so I guess it went to plan.
SEAL Team 5, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it just at first I'm like, oh no, but
this could end very poorly.
It was a cool visual as long as it goes well, and of course they had the fire pyro that they landed nearby, which is really cool. But then once the match got started. Unlike last year when like everybody kind of, I mean, they might have split up a little bit throughout the stadium, but they shot it this year in a way to where, Jericho and MJF went off in one section of the building, and then Wardlow and Hager in another, and Santana Ortiz and FTR were in another, and Hager and Sean Spears were in another.
Sean and Guevara were together.
Yeah, Sean and Guevara. I understand what they're going for. They're kind of telling individual feuds as well. But it kind of felt disjointed a bit to me. And the fact that it went over 30 minutes long, I'm like, okay, I really want to see you guys do something besides just brawl in the back. But this will get me.
There's some good spots through each of them. I mean,
like Sean Spears sitting in the hall of chairs, I thought was pretty cool.
That was a great visual setup there.
Jericho and MJF walking through Tony Khan and Urban Meyer's office, where Urban Meyer actually said, "Holy shit."
So that little spot, that was Urban Meyer and I think Strong's his last name. I want to say Charlie Strong.
One of the assistant coaches or something, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. For the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I guess for the Jaguars, they're having some kind of meeting, and then fucking Jericho and MJF busted the door. Strong is just throwing Jericho footballs to throw at MJF, which was hilarious.
Right.
Then Jericho asked Urban Meyer, the coach of the Jaguars, like, can I borrow the laptop? Oh, has it all the way open and just smacks MJF with it.
Yeah. Destroys the laptop.
Destroys the laptop. Then MJF is just postured rightward. Chris gets a computer chair, desk chair, whatever you want to fucking call it. Rolls MJF out the door into what looks like a little break room. And Urban Meyer's like, holy shit.
And then Jericho goes, have a nice season, coach. So I ain't gonna lie, that was good. And there was another spot when they were in the hallway. I guess there was a life-size cutout of Sean Khan, Tony Khan's dad, the owner of the Jaguars. Yep. And Jericho walks by and pets his head, which was
after he MJF, I think punches it or punches above it, hurts his hand.
Yeah, it hits the wall.
Jericho then kind of hits him with it and then puts it nicely back in the corner and just
yeah. So there was some pretty creative spots for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course with the tag team, the Pride and Powerful?
Yeah. Santana Ortiz and then FTR, yeah.
Santana and Ortiz and then Harwood and Cash in the fucking club with Tully Blanchard. Which, by the way, Tully Blanchard did not need to dress up just like them.
Right.
That was disturbing.
I was disturbed by
that.
Yeah.
It's like, Tully, no. Stop it. Get help. But then they clear the fucking bar area, have a drink of, I'm assuming, water. Maybe. I don't know. And then you just hear, they're going to change the music. It's fucking Conan.
Yeah. WCW's Conan for back in the day. She's probably one of other places.
The original member of LAX, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, which was a nice tie-in to...
but they were...
Santana and Ortiz
were called
outside,
back in Impact.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I got my pop for that. And I believe
there's a couple like good spots.
Yeah, or the freezer that Hager and Wardlow went into. There was a pig that was split in half hanging from the freezer in there, like it was a meat locker. And I saw somebody on Twitter go, "Why is there like a meat or a pig split in half at a football stadium? Why for?" And then somebody wrote, "Well, how else do you think they're going to get pig skin for the football?" I kind of thought that was funny. So I kind of, that's not bad. But I don't know if that was a joke they were going for, but otherwise it was clearly a fake pig. But at the same time, it was kind of clever. And of course, they did the Sammy Guevara golf cart spot from last year as well, things like that. So there was some creativity to it. But I guess the one thing I am glad about, by the end of it, because there's a full crowd, my biggest fear going into this was, since it was the main event especially, that they were never going to go out in front of the live crowd. They did do that, though. MJF and Jericho wrestled their way out there, and then the ending of the match, Guevara then ran down Shawn Spears with the golf cart going into the arena, too, with all the fans. And the match ends with Sammy Guevara. I think they hit the 630 to pin Shawn Spears here for the win. So it was Sammy Guevara by himself in the ring with Shawn Spears, getting the victory for his team. So they really put over Sammy Guevara during all of his backstage stuff and this. So it really made him out to be a huge star and the reason why the Inner Circle gets to stay together. So in that regard, I really like that they were booking this young talent to hopefully move forward and him maybe be the more standout more than he already is with the Inner Circle. But yeah, that was I was glad to see that. So they ended it well and good creative spots, but it did drag a little long.
The whole crowd singing to Jericho, to Judas.
Yeah, which was a great visual at the end.
Seemingly also putting it in slow-mo for the viewers at home. It seemed like that was slow-mo for me.
Well, I know when they were doing the fire and the pyro at the very end, it might have had a little bit of that, but yeah, just the sound of it with the crowd full bore.
The crowd.
Yeah, it was an amazing ending with
singing it.
Yeah, crowds are back. They really wanted to emphasize that with the crowd full throat singing the song as they love to do for Jericho. So outside of that, I thought they booked it right. As you said, babyface goes over because Kenny kind of won earlier. He sent the crowd home happy for first big show. So in that regard, good booking. But yeah, there was some nitpicks obviously for me on the show, but I thought overall this was a very good show, top to bottom. Some good wrestling, some little minor things, but that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts, Damon?
It was a good show. I mean, really wasn't at any point I was like, this is almost over.
If there's ever a show where like, oh, that's so cringy, or oh my god, that's horrible. I didn't really feel that
cringe stuff to this show, but it was all mostly minor shit.
Passable.
It's like can't say that word because I'm bad at words. But it was minor to the point of non-existence, but it was a good show. I had fun watching it.
Yeah, and wrestling nowadays, that's good to see. And I felt like, especially since AEW, the last few pay-per-views they've had, their endings has not been as well executed. They executed this one well, I think. So I think they sent the crowd home happy, and definitely me at home for sure. I was as well. But I think that'll do it for our review. Sorry we went a little longer than we probably would have planned. I know the 10-minute thing at the very beginning didn't go how I thought, but hey, that's okay. We don't get a chance to talk about a good wrestling show sometimes anymore. So I'm glad to do that.
Those are very far in view between.
Right. So forgive us for that. But anyway, the real thing is here, what do you guys think about AEW Double or Nothing for 2021? Please comment down below. Let us know. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you get all the and definitely hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content here on our channel. I about screwed that up again. But anyway, let us know, guys. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care.
Yeah. Ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah. I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.